You're listening to The Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the insights.
Hmm.
Today, we're zeroing in on a stack of fresh sources, taking a really comprehensive look at the top headlines from India for June 17th, 2025.
Right.
These reports, they offer a unique window, into the country's incredibly diverse landscape. We're talking everything from the passionate world of sports
It always.
and the complex mechanics of aviation, all the way to the intricacies of politics, the delicate dance of international relations, and even some groundbreaking scientific breakthroughs.
We're in a mix today.
It really is. And our mission is simple. Extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from these daily events and hopefully reveal the surprising connections and implications.
Right.
This isn't just about, what happened. It's about understanding why it matters to you, offering a direct path to being truly well-informed.
Precisely. And we'll synthesize these various pieces of information, some of which might seem pretty disconnected at first glance.
Yeah.
And we'll try to weave them together. Our goal is really to give you that broader context for understanding India's remarkably complex current affairs, seeing how these individual threads contribute to the larger tapestry of a nation that's, well, constantly in motion.
So let's unpack this pulse of a nation, one headline at a time.
The pitch, the players, and the pressure cricket's high-stakes selections.
Okay, so we're kicking off our deep dive today by plunging headfirst into the fervent, often nail-biting world of Indian cricket.
Always a good place to start.
Definitely. The focus is on some pretty strong advice from former Indian spinner Harbhajan Singh.
Abaji.
Yeah, for the team as they gear up for their crucial test match against England at Headingley, Leeds.
Right, big one.
It's a high-stakes encounter, and Harbhajan has some very specific ideas on their tactical approach.
He certainly does.
Mhm.
And his tactical recommendation is truly noteworthy because, well, it challenges a lot of the conventional wisdom about playing conditions in England. He's firmly advocating for a combination of 2 specialist spinners and 3 seamers.
2 spinners at Headingley. That sounds bold.
It is. His reasoning is rooted in this deep-seated belief that both Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, regardless of how green or seaming the pitch might appear, they possess the unique ability to take wickets anywhere in the world.
Okay.
It's a bold call, pushing past the typical pace is king mentality that often dictates selections on English soil.
Right.
He's essentially saying, don't judge the book by its cover. These spinners, they have the skill to defy expectations.
And when you look at the current squad under Shubman Gill's leadership, you can see why Harbhajan's advice is so pointed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The team is, it's packed with formidable pace options. You've got Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad
The
Siraj,
top tier.
and even a new face like Arshdeep Singh, all ready to, unleash fire.
Yeah.
However, on the spin front, Kuldeep is the only designated frontline spinner.
Wow.
Now, Jadeja and Washington Sundar are undoubtedly incredible all-rounders, capable of bowling crucial overs.
Absolutely. Valuable players.
But they aren't traditionally viewed as primary wicket-taking spin options in the same vein as, say, a specialist like Kuldeep.
That's fair.
So Harbhajan's counsel implies a strategic shift, recognizing the unique, maybe often underestimated strengths that quality spin can offer, even in conditions perceived to be, well, adverse.
And this isn't just Harbhajan's gut feeling. His argument draws on a really powerful historical parallel that he himself was part of.
Oh.
He referenced India's memorable 2002 victory at Headingley.
Ah, yes, I remember that one. Big win.
Huge win. And in that very match, on a pitch widely described as green and seeming precisely the kind of surface that usually favors fast bowlers.
Right.
Harbhajan, alongside the legendary Anil Kumble, played a pivotal role in securing a dominant win for India.
So his point is,
His point is that history can absolutely repeat itself. Spin can be incredibly effective, even on seemingly unfavorable surfaces, provided you have top-tier bowlers. Makes you wonder, are modern teams maybe too quick to dismiss spin in conditions where a bit of ingenuity and skill could still turn the game?
that's a powerful historical precedent to lean on, isn't it?
It really is.
But the selection dilemmas don't stop there, apparently. Another key choice looming for the team management is between Shardul Thakur and Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Ah, the all-rounder spot. Always tricky.
Right. Thakur recently made an undeniable case for himself, smashing an unbeaten 122 in an intra-squad game.
Wow, 122 unbeaten.
Yeah. He's known as a reliable seamer who can also bat, offering that valuable dual contribution. Sometimes called a bits and pieces player, but a very effective one.
He can change games with bat or ball.
Exactly. Reddy, on the other hand, is primarily seen as a pure batsman. And Harbhajan's preference for Thakur is quite clear here, again, pushing for that all-rounder versatility, especially in challenging English conditions where runs from the lower order can be absolutely crucial, even match-winning sometimes.
Yeah, those lower order runs are gold in England.
Mm-hmm.
And the broader implications of these choices, they're quite significant, aren't they?
Definitely.
They represent this constant balancing act between raw talent, current form, seasoned experience, and crucially, that adaptability required for specific match conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision, from who fills the spin slots to who takes that all-rounder spot, it isn't just about individual performance.
Mm-hmm.
It's about crafting a cohesive unit
Right.
designed to maximize India's chances of success.
Mm-hmm.
These strategic decisions could profoundly influence India's performance in the England series opener, could set the tone for the whole tour.
And maybe even impact their standing in the World Test Championship.
Absolutely. It all connects.
And speaking of individual performances and, the unforgiving nature of selection,
Yep.
Harbhajan also voiced his disappointment regarding Sarfaraz Khan's exclusion from the squad.
Sarfaraz, he's been scoring mountains of runs domestically.
Exactly. Consistently strong domestic performances over several seasons, but still no spot.
Tough break.
Harbhajan offered a message of encouragement to the young batter, urging him to stay motivated. He even referenced Karun Nair's eventual return to the squad after years out.
Oh yeah, Karun Nair, the triple centurion.
As a sort of beacon of hope, reminding Sarfaraz that persistence sometimes pays off in the long run.
And that point really connects to the intense pressure and, frankly, fierce competition that defines Indian cricket.
It's brutal.
It really is. It underscores that even standout domestic performances, while commendable, don't always guarantee an immediate spot in the national squad. It raises an important question, doesn't it, about the talent pathways in a country where cricket is almost a religion.
How do you manage those hopes?
Exactly. How do you manage the hopes and aspirations of so many talented players when only 11 can play? It's a stark reminder of the brutal realities of elite sports, where talent often needs to be accompanied by immense patience and resilience.
So, what does this all mean for Team India's strategy heading into Headingley? It seems every single decision is a calculated risk, a delicate balance between past glories, current form, future aspirations, all under the intense scrutiny of a cricket-crazy nation. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how they line up against England.
Can't wait to watch.
Skies and scrutiny, the Air India technical glitch.
Okay, from the strategic battlefield of the cricket pitch, let's now turn our attention to another arena where precision and reliability are absolutely paramount. Skies above.
Right.
We're looking at an incident involving an Air India Boeing 787-Dreamliner, flight AI-315.
The Delhi flight from Hong Kong.
That's the one. It was forced to return to Hong Kong shortly after takeoff. This kind of event always grabs headlines and inevitably raises questions.
Indeed. The core details are that the aircraft turned around less than 30 minutes into the flight.
Very quickly.
Yeah, due to an unspecified technical issue. This was reported widely by Indian media, EAN and ANI, and the Airport Authority Hong Kong confirmed that the aircraft requested a local standby around 1 p.m. on Monday.
Which means?
It indicates an immediate need for priority attention upon return. Fire services on standby, that sort of thing, just in case.
Right, a precaution.
Exactly. While the exact nature of the problem hasn't been officially disclosed by Air India, such rapid turnarounds are typically initiated as a precautionary measure for issues that, while not immediately catastrophic, require prompt resolution on the ground.
And the aircraft involved, the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, that's significant here, isn't it?
It is. It's renowned globally for its advanced design, its fuel efficiency.
It's the workhorse.
It's the workhorse for long-haul international routes, exactly. So when an aircraft of this caliber experiences an issue mid-flight, especially on such a route, it adds a layer of concern.
Yeah, it begs the question. How does a modern high-tech machine, designed for reliability over vast distances, encounter a problem so soon after takeoff?
In this incident, even though it was resolved safely, it actually puts Air India's multi-billion-dollar modernization efforts under an unexpected microscope.
Good point. They're pouring money into revamping the airline.
Exactly. Air India is undergoing this massive revamp under its new ownership, the Tata Group. They're aiming to modernize the fleet, drastically improve service standards.
Hmm.
This unexpected technical glitch, even if it turns out to be minor, inevitably brings up broader questions about the effectiveness of current aircraft maintenance protocols and overall operational readiness.
Right.
It forces us to ask, is this overhaul truly transforming day-to-day operational readiness, or are some of those deeper, maybe legacy issues still lurking beneath the surface of the new paint?
And even though no immediate safety threats were reported, the broader implications for passenger confidence, well, they can't be overstated.
Not at all.
Mid-air technical issues, even those that lead to a safe return, inevitably disrupt schedules, cause significant delays,
Huge inconvenience.
and can impact public perception of an airline's reliability and safety standards. For passengers, it's not just an inconvenience, it can be a source of anxiety.
Yeah, definitely.
And it often leads to a quick check of an airline's safety record before you book your next flight.
Absolutely. This also subtly connects back to the manufacturer, Boeing.
Ah, yes.
They've faced significant scrutiny over various technical faults and production issues in their aircraft in recent years.
They certainly have.
This history naturally leads to heightened vigilance from aviation authorities worldwide whenever one of their planes experiences an issue, no matter how minor it seems. It raises an important question about the continuous pressures even major, well-established manufacturers face in ensuring absolute reliability, and the pervasive, continuous oversight required from regulatory bodies to maintain global aviation safety standards.
That's a key point. So what steps will be crucial for Air India moving forward from this?
Transparency, I think, is paramount.
Right.
Transparent communication, not just about the incident itself, but also about the subsequent repairs and what proactive measures are being taken to prevent future occurrences. That will be absolutely crucial in maintaining and, frankly, rebuilding its reputation, especially in a highly competitive global aviation market where passenger trust is everything.
And that transparency, or maybe the lack of it so far, is quite notable in our sources, right?
It is. As of now, there hasn't been an official response from Air India detailing the next steps for the affected flight, or specific details on passenger accommodations, or even the nature of the inspections that will be carried out.
Okay.
In situations like this, clear, timely communication is just vital, not just for public confidence, but also for keeping those stranded passengers informed and managing expectations effectively. You know, people missing connections, urgent commitments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this incident, it isn't just a travel delay. It's a critical window into the complex world of aviation safety, the relentless pursuit of operational excellence, and that constant balancing act of maintaining public trust in a critical global industry.
Well put.
The relatives roll call dynasty politics in Bihar.
All right, from the complex world of aviation, let's now navigate the intricate and often contentious terrain of Indian politics.
Okay, where are we headed?
We're heading to Bihar. Dynasty politics has once again emerged as a central and hotly debated issue ahead of the upcoming assembly election.
Ah, Bihar politics, never dull, and dynasty politics, a perennial issue there.
It is. It's a familiar theme across India, really, but the current accusations are particularly sharp.
That's right. The core accusation is being leveled by opposition leader Chashwi Yadav.
Lalu Prasad Yadav's son.
Exactly. Against the current chief minister, Nitish Kumar. Yadav is alleging significant hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy how?
He's claiming that despite Kumar's very public stance against nepotism and his frequent championing of merit-based appointments.
Right, that's been his image.
Precisely. Despite that, his government has quietly appointed multiple relatives of prominent political figures to key government positions. It's a direct challenge to Kumar's carefully cultivated image of integrity and, anti-dynastic principles.
And Tejashwi Yadav isn't just making vague claims, is he? He's providing concrete examples.
No, he's naming names.
Like who?
Well, we're talking about the son-in-law of Union Minister Jitan Ram Manji being appointed as vice chairman of the SC Commission.
Okay.
The late Ram Vilas Paswan's son-in-law as the SC Commission chairperson.
Another one.
And even the wife of Nitish Kumar's own principal secretary being appointed to the Bihar State Women Commission.
Wow. These aren't minor roles.
Not at all. They are high-profile positions with considerable influence within the state bureaucracy.
And what truly stands out here is the specific detail concerning Janata Dal, United Working President Sanjay Ha's daughters.
Ah, yes, Adya and Satyaja.
Our sources highlight that they were named Supreme Court Group A legal counsels, despite questions being raised about their relatively limited experience compared to, perhaps, other candidates.
Yeah, and this particular appointment, it raises an important question about the criteria used for such sensitive and, frankly, prestigious legal appointments.
Is it merit?
Is merit indeed the sole determinant, as the government claims, or do political connections play an, well, undeniable role? That's the accusation.
And Joshua Yadav has really leaned into the mockery, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
He sarcastically suggested that Chief Minister Kumar should just go ahead and form a Damad Ayog.
A commission for sons-in-law.
Exactly. It's a pointed dig highlighting the perceived double standard.
And it's particularly ironic, isn't it, given how frequently the J.D. Kumar's party has criticized the RGD to Joshua's party for nepotism in the past.
Right. It's a classic pot calling the kettle black scenario playing out in the political arena, designed obviously to undermine public trust.
And looking at the wider context, this controversy has significantly fueled an already heated debate between the ruling National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, and the opposition.
Just adds fuel to the fire before the election.
Completely. It's further complicating Bihar's already dynamic political landscape as the assembly elections approach. This directly challenges Kumar's government, which, as we said, has long prided itself on upholding merit-based governance and rejecting dynastic tendencies.
Right.
These allegations are a direct attack on that carefully cultivated image, forcing them to defend their actions.
So, for you, the listener, the relevance here is pretty clear. These allegations may very well shape voter sentiment.
Could definitely sway votes.
And significantly influence political strategies as the campaign season intensifies. Dynasty politics isn't new in India, but it remains deeply divisive. How this issue plays out in the public discourse, how the ruling party responds, how the opposition presses its advantage, it could genuinely make it a crucial electoral issue in Bihar, potentially swinging votes in what could be a tightly contested race.
And the implications for JDU and the NDA's ability to maintain credibility in the upcoming polls are quite significant. Their response, or lack thereof, to this criticism will be closely watched by the electorate.
Yeah.
If they can't adequately address these appointments, or if that perception of hypocrisy lingers, it could really undermine their core message and hand a powerful talking point to the opposition.
Potentially impacting the election results and the future political balance in one of India's most populous states.
Exactly.
It's a classic political dance, isn't it? Accusations and denials, but with very real implications for how power is distributed, perceived, and potentially challenged in one of India's most politically significant states.
That sums it up well.
A tycoon, a lawsuit, and an alleged abduction. The Mehul Choksi saga.
All right, from the nuanced world of state politics, we're now delving into a really high-stakes international legal drama.
Okay.
Involving the fugitive diamond tycoon Mehul Choksi.
Ah, Choksi of Gitanjali Gems.
That's him, chairman of Gitanjali Gems Ltd. He has made some, frankly, explosive allegations in a UK court.
This sounds serious.
It is. It's setting the stage for a truly fascinating legal and diplomatic battle.
Okay, so laying out Choksi's central claim, it's quite extraordinary and deeply serious. He alleges that Indian agents kidnapped and tortured him back in 2021.
Kidnapped and tortured.
Yes. With the express purpose, he claims, of forcing a confession in that massive $1.5 billion bank fraud case he's linked to.
Wow.
And he's gone so far as to sue the Indian government and 5 specific individuals whom he claims were directly involved in this alleged abduction.
So this isn't just a financial dispute anymore.
Not at all. It's a direct accusation of state-sponsored illegal activity and human rights abuses conducted on foreign soil.
And India's response?
Equally firm. A categorical denial of these charges.
Okay.
Furthermore, they assert that the case should not even be heard in English courts, claiming sovereign immunity.
Explain sovereign immunity again.
It's a legal principle, basically meaning that a state or its representatives acting in their official capacity is immune from the jurisdiction of foreign courts for certain acts.
So they're saying the UK court has no right to judge them on this.
Essentially, yes. It's a powerful legal defense, if accepted, and often invoked in matters involving national security or state actions.
Meanwhile, Choksi's legal team has detailed some harrowing claims.
They have. They allege he was tasered, blindfolded, beaten, and threatened while aboard a sailing vessel.
Aboard a boat.
Yes, and the threats were severe, including explicit warnings that he and his family would be harmed if he refused to return to India and cooperate.
Good heavens.
His lawyers explicitly claim this was an attempt to extract a false confession, specifically one that would link him to political opposition figures in India.
So political motivations alleged too.
Yes. These are incredibly serious accusations of human rights violations that, if proven, would have profound international ramifications.
Now give us some background context here. Choksi is currently where?
He's currently in Belgium, according to the sources. He was arrested there in April following an extradition request from India.
Right, and before Belgium.
He had been living in Antigua after fleeing India.
Antigua had granted him citizenship, right?
Correct. This entire complex case is deeply intertwined with that of his nephew, Nirav Modi.
Ah, Nirav Modi, also linked to the PNB fraud.
Exactly. Both men fled India when that massive fraud involving Indian state-owned banks, particularly Punjab National Bank, surfaced back in 2018, caused significant financial upheaval.
And Modi's status.
Modi, for his part, remains in a UK jail after losing his own extradition battle, which highlights the persistent and often lengthy efforts by India to bring these alleged financial criminals back to face justice.
Okay, so if we connect this Choksi incident to the broader issue of financial crimes in India.
Right. It's important context. India processes a staggering 90% of the world's diamonds.
90%. Wow.
It's huge. This industry, while immensely profitable and vital for the economy, has unfortunately faced high-profile fraud scandals in the past, leading to significant public outrage.
Understandably.
This specific case, with these extraordinary allegations, raises an important question about the lengths to which governments might consider or employ tactics, whether legally sanctioned or, as alleged here, not, to bring fugitives accused of such large-scale financial crimes back to their jurisdiction, especially when they are seen to be evading the law for years.
Oh. So for you, the listener, what's the significance here? The outcome of Choksi's UK lawsuit could be huge.
Absolutely huge. It could significantly influence ongoing extradition efforts, not just for him, but potentially set a precedent for other high-profile fugitives accused of financial crimes abroad. It could also profoundly shape political narratives surrounding financial crimes and government actions back in India.
How so?
Well, if Choksi's claims gain any traction in a foreign court, it could have significant diplomatic repercussions and challenge that very notion of sovereign immunity, especially in cases involving alleged human rights abuses conducted extraterritorially.
So this is not just a legal battle.
Far from it. It's a profound test of international law, the very principle of sovereign immunity, and, frankly, the ethical boundaries to which nations will go to combat financial crime and bring alleged criminals to justice. The ramifications of this UK court's decision will undoubtedly be felt far beyond the courtroom.
Impacting diplomatic relations and international legal frameworks.
Yeah.
Wow. Heavy stuff.
Indeed.
Nuclear posture and regional power plays India's strategic buildup.
Okay, shifting now to a critical geopolitical topic, one that impacts regional and, indeed, global stability, India's nuclear capabilities.
Right. Always a watch topic.
This comes from the latest yearbook from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIMPRI.
SIMPRI. Their annual report is always a crucial snapshot of the world's nuclear forces and how they're evolving.
So what are the latest figures saying?
Well, they're quite significant. India has reportedly increased its nuclear warhead stockpile to 180.
180. And how does that compare regionally?
That now, for the first time, according to SIMPRI's estimates, surpasses Pakistan's estimated 170 warheads.
Okay, so a shift there.
A notable shift in the regional balance. However, it's crucial to put this into broader perspective. India remains significantly behind China's rapidly growing arsenal.
Which is much larger.
Much larger. Now estimated at a formidable 600 warheads. So this annual revision from SIMPRI provides critical insights, and it clearly shows India's buildup reflecting strategic concerns that seem to extend well beyond just Pakistan.
Highlighting a more complex threat perception.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And this report also comes with a very recent and, frankly, volatile backdrop, doesn't it? It gives it even more immediate relevance.
It does. It closely follows India's recent military operation dubbed Operation Sindoor.
Right. Tell us about that.
This was an operation where Indian forces struck terror in military installations in Pakistan, and Pakistan occupied Kashmir, or POCO.
And the trigger.
It followed a deadly attack on pilgrims in Pahalgam, Jammu, and Kashmir.
Okay. And Operation Sindoor wasn't just a minor border skirmish.
Far from it. Our sources indicate it was an intense 4-day confrontation.
4 days.
Yes, involving sophisticated military assets, fighter jets, missiles, drones, heavy artillery.
Wow.
This level of engagement has undoubtedly further intensified regional tensions, showcasing the extremely volatile security environment in South Asia. The risk of escalation remains ever present.
Requires careful diplomatic maneuvering from all sides.
Absolutely. The operation itself was a clear demonstration of India's readiness to respond forcefully to perceived threats.
And just to broaden the global perspective again, remind us of the biggest players.
Well, the United States and Russia continue to maintain by far the largest nuclear arsenals in the world.
The numbers.
The U.S. has around 5,459 warheads, Russia around 5,177.
So that really puts India's 180 into scale within the larger global nuclear landscape.
Precisely. They are a significant regional power with a growing deterrent, but still operate on a different scale than these global superpowers.
And Saipurai also noted something fascinating about India's evolving nuclear posture, right? Not just the numbers.
Yes, exactly. There's a perceptible and strategic shift toward developing and deploying longer-range weapons.
And the target there isn't just Pakistan.
It seems not solely. It appears explicitly aimed at countering China's rapidly growing military capabilities and its increasing regional influence, particularly along their contested border.
So India is looking eastward as much as westward.
That's what it indicates, a broader strategic reevaluation of its defense needs, responding to a changing geopolitical landscape. It signals a move towards a more robust and comprehensive nuclear deterrent.
And there's been a significant development underpinning this strategic shift related to submarines.
That's right. The commissioning of India's second indigenous nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, the INS Aragat.
INS Aragat. And why is that so significant?
This is a massive step for India's nuclear triad capability.
Triad being?
The ability to deliver nuclear strikes from land-based missiles, air-launched weapons, and, crucially, from under the sea via submarines.
And the submarine part adds what?
It adds a vital layer of invulnerability to its deterrent. Submerged submarines are extremely difficult to track, making a retaliatory strike capability much more assured. That strengthens overall deterrence significantly.
So looking at the wider context.
Right. Despite the ongoing and very real regional rivalries with Pakistan, India appears primarily focused on modernization efforts that strategically expand its deterrence capabilities beyond just its immediate neighbor.
Towards China.
Towards China, yes. As China continues to enhance its own nuclear capabilities, India seems to be proactively adjusting its strategy to counter that broader threat landscape.
In this dynamic.
It reinforces significant concerns about strategic stability in the region, especially amidst ongoing geopolitical tensions that already run very high. It raises questions about a potential arms race in Asia.
So this Saipurai report isn't just about numbers, is it?
Not at all. It's about shifting power dynamics, the constant recalibration of strategic deterrence in one of the world's most sensitive regions, and the very real implications for global peace and stability.
A lot to unpack there.
Identity under attack. Mamata Banerjee's allegations on Bengali discrimination.
Okay, moving on now to internal political and social tensions within India.
Right.
We're focusing on West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's powerful accusations against BJP-ruled states.
Mamata Banerjee. This sounds like it could be contentious.
It is a very sensitive issue touching deeply upon identity, citizenship, and the rights of migrants within India.
Okay, what's her core claim?
Her core claim is quite stark. She alleges that BJP-ruled states are actively targeting Bengali-speaking citizens by falsely labeling them as Bangladeshi immigrants.
Falsely labeling them, even if they're Indian citizens.
That's her claim. What makes this particularly egregious, according to her, is that these individuals possess valid Indian identity documents, voter IDs, PAN cards, Aadhaar cards.
So proof of citizenship.
Exactly. It's an accusation of deliberate systemic discrimination based purely on linguistic identity, designed, she says, to marginalize a segment of the population.
And does she have specific examples?
She cited a very specific and, frankly, troubling incident to underscore her allegations.
Which was?
3 residents from West Bengal who were working in Mumbai were allegedly forced into Bangladesh by the Border Security Force, the BSF.
Forced into Bangladesh?
Yeah.
By Indian forces?
That's the allegation. If this account is accurate, it represents a serious overreach of authority and a clear violation of citizens' fundamental rights. It's prompted a significant outcry.
I can imagine. And she raised this where?
She addressed the West Bengal State Assembly directly on this matter. She asserted that migrant workers, despite possessing definitive proofs of Indian identity, are being deprived of their fundamental right to earn a livelihood and move freely within their own country.
Okay.
She unequivocally stated that BJP governments in different states are engaging in language-based discrimination, treating Bengali-speaking individuals as foreigners purely based on their linguistic identity.
Which raises an important question, doesn't it? About the implementation and potential misuse of citizenship verification processes.
Absolutely. Are they being weaponized for political ends? That's the underlying charge.
And she has framed this issue very forcefully.
Very. Presenting it as a direct attack on Bengali identity and the fundamental rights of West Bengal residents.
Has she raised this before?
She has previously raised concerns about the mistreatment of West Bengal migrants in BJP-led states, but this latest accusation, citing the alleged BSF incident, significantly intensifies the already high tensions between her party, the Trinamool Congress, and the central government led by the BJP.
Injecting a new, emotionally charged element into their long-standing political rivalry.
Definitely. And what truly stands out here is how Banerjee has strategically positioned this issue.
How so?
She's framed it not just as a political squabble or a matter of interstate relations, but as a direct assault on linguistic identity and the fundamental rights of Indian citizens from her state. She's explicitly making it a matter of social justice.
Which is a powerful framing.
Extremely powerful. This strategic framing aims to rally widespread support around an issue that resonates deeply with the Bengali-speaking population, and it effectively puts the BJP on the defensive regarding its approach to citizenship and migration. It's a potent narrative in a diverse nation like India.
So, for you, the listener, this controversy is unfolding amid broader, often heated political debates on citizenship, migration, and identity right across India.
These aren't isolated incidents.
No, they're part of a larger national conversation. Banerjee's claims could significantly influence West Bengal's political landscape, reinforcing her stance against certain BJP policies, especially those related to citizenship verification like the CAA.
Right, the Citizenship Amendment Act.
Which have previously been met with widespread protests and concerns about their discriminatory potential, particularly in her state.
And the implications for the ongoing political discourse.
They're notable. While the BJP has not yet issued an official response to these specific allegations, according to our sources, the growing discord highlights the very real friction between regional political narratives and the central government's policies. It effectively makes migrant rights and linguistic identity a highly significant and potentially explosive issue in the lead-up to future elections.
Forcing all parties to address these deeply ingrained societal divisions.
Exactly.
So this isn't just a political squabble. It's really a deep dive into the complexities of identity, citizenship, and the struggle for rights within a diverse nation, where language and regional belonging play such a profound role in people's lives and political loyalties.
A very complex situation indeed.
Geopolitical crossfire India's Iran evacuation efforts.
Okay, turning now to a pressing international crisis and India's rapid response to it.
Right.
The escalating Israel-Iran war and India's urgent efforts to evacuate its citizens from Iran.
A difficult situation.
A stark reminder of how quickly geopolitical tensions can spill over into immediate humanitarian challenges.
Absolutely. So what are the urgent details?
India has indeed begun the process of evacuating its citizens from Iran. Our sources indicate that the first batch, about 100 Indians, is expected to cross by land into Armenia.
By land into Armenia, why not fly?
Because Tehran allowed land travel only after shutting down its airspace amidst the escalating conflict. Air travel became impossible.
Ah, okay. Highlights the immediate logistical hurdles in a crisis like this.
Exactly, forcing governments to find alternative, sometimes unconventional routes to ensure their citizens' safety.
And the scale of the challenge, how many Indians are we talking about?
It's considerable. New Delhi has requested safe passage for at least 10,000 stranded students.
10,000 students, that's a lot.
It is. It underscores the significant Indian diaspora, including a large student population living in various parts of Iran, particularly in cities that are now apparently targets of intensified bombings by Israel.
Making the environment incredibly dangerous for civilians.
Precisely, exacerbating the need for rapid evacuation.
And what's the Indian embassy in Tehran doing?
They've issued clear and consistent directives to Indian nationals there, urging them to stay in constant contact with the embassy, limit their movement to essential travel only,
Right.
and diligently follow official updates from both local authorities and the embassy itself.
Highlighting the crucial on-the-ground role of diplomatic missions in these situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Monitoring the rapidly evolving security situation, ensuring the safety and well-being of their citizens caught in highly volatile conflict zones. Their coordination is vital.
And broadening the scope to the escalating conflict itself. What's the latest rhetoric?
Well, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has issued a stern warning that significantly ups the ante.
Oh.
In a call with Oman's Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, he stated that Iran would unleash harsher retaliatory strikes if the U.S. fails to restrain Israeli aggression.
holding the U.S. partly responsible.
Yes, and emphasizing Iran's perceived ability to counterattack swiftly and decisively, its very high-level rhetoric, indicating Iran is prepared for further escalation.
And on the Israeli side.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a truly provocative statement, one that could significantly escalate the conflict to unprecedented levels.
What did he say?
He did not rule out a potential strike on Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei himself.
Targeting the supreme leader.
Yes, stating chillingly that such an action could effectively end the conflict.
Wow. That kind of rhetoric, targeting a supreme leader, it raises an incredibly important question about the potential for extreme, perhaps irreversible escalation.
Sends shockwaves through the diplomatic world, surely.
Undoubtedly. Considering the gravity of targeting the spiritual and political head of a nation.
And the military actions on the ground, are they escalating too?
It seems so. Israel has reportedly intensified its bombings of Iranian cities, while Iran, in retaliation, has successfully breached Israeli air defenses with a wave of missile strikes.
So direct and dangerous military exchanges are happening.
Yes, confirming that reality. Both sides demonstrating their capacity for significant harm and a willingness to engage in direct confrontation. It solidifies the reality of an active, hot conflict.
And what truly stands out here is how India's swift and determined evacuation efforts vividly underscore the complex challenges faced by its citizens caught in the crossfire of these large-scale geopolitical conflicts. The immediate safety of thousands of individuals becomes a top humanitarian and diplomatic priority amidst the broader strategic maneuvers between nations.
And the evolution of this incredibly volatile situation will undoubtedly have significant impacts on diplomatic relations across the region.
Yes, and
on the stability of the Middle East in the coming days, affecting global powers who have a vested interest there.
it really is a stark reminder of how global conflicts have very real, immediate impacts on individuals, and the complex diplomatic tightrope nations must walk to protect their people while navigating incredibly sensitive international relations.
A very tense situation.
Eyes in the sky, the NISAR satellite's transformative launch.
Okay, shifting gears once more. We're now soaring into a truly exciting development in space technology and international collaboration.
Sounds positive.
It is the upcoming launch of the NISAR satellite.
Ah, NISAR, the NASA-ISRO collaboration.
Exactly. A monumental joint venture between NASA and India's ISRO. This is genuinely big news for Earth observation, promising to revolutionize how we understand our planet.
It absolutely is. So the key details. When is it launching?
Set to launch on June 18th, 2025 from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in India.
Tomorrow.
Yes, and it's valued at an astonishing $1.5 billion.
Wow, big investment.
NISAR represents a major breakthrough in Earth observation technology. Its promise is to provide unparalleled insights into our planet's ecosystems, water bodies, natural disasters, with precision down to the centimeter.
Centimeter-level precision from space. That's incredible.
It really is unprecedented. And the core of NISAR's innovation lies in its advanced synthetic aperture radar, or SAR technology.
Okay, SAR. Why is that so crucial?
Because unlike traditional satellites that rely on visible light or infrared, which get blocked by clouds or darkness,
Right.
SAR actively emits radar signals. This allows it to penetrate through clouds, smoke from wildfires, volcanic ash, even dense vegetation.
So it can see through things.
Exactly. It means it can capture continuous images of the Earth's surface regardless of weather conditions or time of day. It's like having X-ray vision for the planet, offering a consistent, uninterrupted view.
And what truly sets NISAR apart? It's not just another SAR satellite, right?
Correct. It's the first SAR satellite to combine dual-frequency radar, specifically L-band and S-band.
Dual frequency. What does that enable?
This capability enables incredibly high-resolution monitoring of critical areas like forests, wetlands, water bodies, allowing scientists to differentiate between various types of vegetation and monitor subtle changes over time.
Wow.
This makes it uniquely suited for comprehensive disaster monitoring, providing precise, real-time data for events like floods, tracking the spread of forest fires, and even monitoring the subtle ground deformation that precedes or follows volcanic eruptions and earthquakes.
Invaluable for early warning and response.
Totally. And its scope of coverage is truly global, but with a special emphasis on Antarctica.
Why Antarctica specifically?
That focus is particularly vital for enhancing crucial studies on climate change. It will allow scientists to track the dynamics of ice sheet movement and melting patterns with unprecedented detail.
Which is essential for sea level rise projections.
Exactly. Essential data for improving our projections for global sea levels and understanding the overall health of Earth's polar regions.
Okay, diving into its practical applications.
Yeah.
You mentioned ground deformation.
Yes. NISAR will be able to detect minute changes in elevation across the Earth's surface. This means it can track phenomena like land subsidence, the sinking of ground.
Which affects cities.
Right. Identify potential landslides, map subtle ground shifts after earthquakes, critical data for understanding seismic activity, and crucially, it will provide near real-time mapping after disasters.
Helping emergency response.
Massively. Assisting emergency response efforts on the ground, helping to identify damaged infrastructure, areas most in need. And this also raises an important question, doesn't it? How will this immense volume of data be processed, stored, shared, and utilized globally to maximize its benefits?
Data management is key.
Huge task. And the benefits extend even further. NISAR will estimate soil moisture levels with high accuracy.
Essential for agriculture.
Incredibly. Optimizing irrigation practices, which in turn can significantly improve food security worldwide by ensuring water is used efficiently.
Makes sense.
It will also track coastal erosion, detect oil spills in oceans and waterways, monitor glacier melt, reinforcing its immense significance in environmental protection and our overall understanding of planetary health and change.
So, looking at the wider context here.
Yeah.
With its ability to provide continuous high-resolution data every 12 days, NISAR is genuinely poised to usher in a new era of Earth observation.
A game changer.
Absolutely. This NASA-ISRO partnership isn't just about launching a satellite. It's about setting new global standards for disaster management, climate studies, environmental monitoring for years to come.
Yeah.
The collaboration itself underscores this growing and increasingly vital trend of international cooperation in cutting-edge space research. It demonstrates what's possible when nations work together for common scientific and humanitarian goals, fosters trust, and shared progress.
So this isn't just a satellite launch, it's really a testament to human ingenuity and global collaboration, giving us unprecedented clarity on our changing planet and equipping us with powerful tools to better understand and protect it for future generations.
Very exciting times for Earth science.
A mixed picture of progress, India's maternal mortality ratio.
Okay, we're concluding our deep dive today with a crucial social indicator, India's maternal mortality ratio, or MMR.
Right, a really important measure of public health.
And the latest data paints a complex picture. It shows both significant national progress and persistent concerning regional challenges.
A mixed bag, then.
Exactly. So the key national improvement is quite positive, represents a substantial public health achievement. India's overall MMR has dropped to 88 deaths per 100,000 live births in the 2020-22 period.
Down from what?
Down from 93 in the previous period, 2019-21.
Okay, so a definite improvement nationally.
Yes. This data comes from the Office of the Registrar General, under the Ministry of Home Affairs. It signifies a clear, positive trajectory at the national level, moving closer to global targets for maternal health.
But there's a but.
There is. And this is the concerning caveat that demands focused attention. 6 specific states actually recorded an increase in maternal deaths during the same period.
An increase. Which states?
Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh.
That's worrying.
This unfortunate trend in these particular states has undoubtedly slowed down the overall national progress we just discussed, creates pockets of concern despite the broader positive narrative.
And diving into those specific states of concern, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh stand out.
They do, because they've experienced consecutive increases in MMR. First from 2018-20 to 2019-21, and now again in this latest report.
A consistent negative trend there.
Right. And while their overall figures still remain below the national average of 88, this consistent rise is a significant red flag.
It really raises an important question, doesn't it? What specific localized challenges, systemic issues in healthcare delivery, perhaps socioeconomic barriers might be driving these setbacks, especially when the national trend is moving the other way?
It's a reminder that averages can mask significant disparities.
Definitely.
Now, it's important to acknowledge that India has made substantial efforts on a national level to improve maternal health.
There have been many initiatives.
Yes, various government initiatives focusing on critical areas like increasing access to quality healthcare facilities, expanding prenatal and postnatal care programs, and significantly promoting institutional deliveries where births happen in medical facilities with trained supervision. These targeted efforts have undeniably contributed to the overall decline we've seen nationally.
But what truly stands out here is the persistence of those regional disparities, even with robust national programs and increased funding.
Right.
Despite the strides made, some states continue to struggle significantly. And this is often due to a complex mix of factors.
Like what?
Inadequate healthcare infrastructure, maybe a shortage of skilled medical personnel, deeply entrenched socioeconomic barriers preventing women from accessing care,
Hmm.
and persistent issues with healthcare accessibility, particularly in remote or rural areas. It really emphasizes that national averages, while encouraging, can sometimes mask critical local needs and persistent inequalities within the country's diverse landscape.
So for you, the listener, the implications are pretty clear. Despite these challenges in certain areas, India's continued decline in overall maternal mortality does reflect ongoing improvements in healthcare policies and interventions across the country. It shows commitment to a vital public health goal.
True.
However, this report really underscores the critical need for highly specific state-by-state strategies to address those disparities.
Tailored approaches.
Exactly. To ensure that the positive trend doesn't reverse in the states currently showing increases, it highlights where targeted resources and policy changes are most urgently needed.
It absolutely emphasizes that policymakers must focus on targeted interventions, ensuring enhanced healthcare access, strengthening primary health centers, maybe rolling out improved awareness programs, especially in those lagging states. These steps are just crucial to sustain the progress already made and to further reduce preventable maternal deaths. The report highlights both India's significant achievements in maternal health and the specific areas requiring immediate, focused attention.
Reaffirming the nation's commitment to safe childbirth and maternal well-being for all its citizens, not just aiming for a good national average.
Precisely.
So this data really paints a complex picture of progress, reminding us that even great strides forward often come with hidden challenges that need our focused, nuanced attention to ensure that no one is left behind.
A crucial point to end on. Outro.
Well, that was quite the journey today, wasn't it?
It really was. Covered a lot of ground.
We began with the strategic nuances of cricket selection, feeling the pressure on Team India, then navigated the urgent realities of aviation safety with that Air India incident.
Right.
From there, we dove into the contentious debates of dynasty politics in Bihar, followed by the far-reaching implications of the Mehul Choksi saga, truly a test of international law.
Fascinating case.
Then we soared into India's evolving nuclear posture, a critical aspect of regional power plays, before addressing internal social tensions with Mamata Banerjee's allegations on Bengali discrimination.
Very sensitive issue.
Then explored the critical international crisis of India's Iran evacuation efforts, looked skyward again to the groundbreaking space collaboration with the NISAR satellite,
Exciting tech.
before concluding with that complex picture of India's maternal mortality ratio.
It's truly remarkable how these seemingly disparate headlines from just a single day, June 17th, 2025, they weave together.
They really do connect.
They reveal the incredible complexity and interconnectedness of a nation like India, constantly navigating deep internal dynamics, whether social, political, or economic, while simultaneously responding to and influencing major global forces. Each story, whether it's about technology or human rights, is kind of a microcosm of larger trends, shows how domestic issues are often intertwined with international events. Paints a truly comprehensive picture.
Exactly. You've not just heard the headlines today. Hopefully you've understood the layers beneath them, gaining a nuanced, well-informed perspective, and maybe seen how these daily events fit into the bigger picture of a nation on the move.
And what's truly compelling here, I think, is how each of these stories underscores that constant balancing act of progress and challenge that any nation faces, especially one as dynamic as India. It raises an important question for you, our listener. How do these individual threads, from sports strategy to global politics, from scientific breakthroughs to social disparities, how do they weave into the larger tapestry of global affairs and your own understanding of the world around you? Something to think about.
Definitely. Consider the implications of these daily decisions and developments on the trajectory of a major global power. That's it for this deep dive into India's daily pulse. We hope you feel a little more connected to the world and a lot more informed.
Keep asking questions.
Keep exploring, and we'll be back soon with another deep dive.